Well, I went to Florence, Italy, and we lived in an apartment. It was, well, my apartment was about a block away from school, so we'd walk to school every day. And I had class a lot because I took architecture, and Dr. Lowley has class a lot, and there's a lot of architecture to see. And I also took wine marketing, so obviously that was fun, and Dr. Fontenot's great. We did a lot of that, tasted a lot, and actually learned a lot more than I expected. My dad was kind of worried it'd be some big vacation, which, don't get me wrong, it was great, but I ended up learning a whole lot throughout the trip. Well, I learned how wine was made. We went through the whole process, so we actually went out to a vineyard and met with somebody that did it, and we saw from where they pull the grapes to where they ferment and process the wine. We also learned about champagne. We took a trip to Epernay, France, and visited some champagne houses and learned all about that too. There's just a lot out there. I mean, it's different the way they live, and I guess you can't really experience that unless you're submersed in it like we were. Like, you know, when you take vacation, you can learn a lot about where you're at, but you're very touristy, which we did a lot of touristy things, but you know, we'd also go to the coffee shop and see the same person every day and go grocery shopping with them, and we learned about the cooking. We took cooking classes. That was great because we actually had the Olympic chef for the Italian team taught us cooking lessons, and we got the recipes to take back home so we could cook for our families and kind of share that with them. Well, I took a trip separately. I had to go a couple days late, so I didn't actually fly with the group. So I was really kind of scared because I got there and I had to get a taxi to the school, and when I got to the school it just wasn't really what I was picturing because it's just some old building. It didn't really look like a school, and there were actually other apartments in the school, so I was kind of like, well, am I at the right place? But I ended up being there. I walked up and found where I was supposed to go, and I mean, I felt safe, you know, and they brought me to my apartment, and so everyone was already settled in there, and I just kind of got settled in, met everybody, and headed off to class. AIFS got the apartment, and ours was very convenient. I know they were scattered throughout the city, but that's kind of neat because if you went to visit your friends, you got to go see them wherever they were living. But the apartment was well taken care of. There was no AC, but it actually wasn't bad because you could crack open the window and it was pretty comfortable. The food, we went grocery shopping a lot. We had one right around the corner, so we just keep stuff at the house just to snack on. But I also did the meal plan, which was great because we could just go to the restaurants. We had plenty of meals to take care of us, and I ended up using all of those, and it saved a lot because, I mean, you could go to the grocery store, but you had to carry everything back, so you couldn't get a whole bunch, so that helped out. And the cell phones, I did the payphone, which worked well because I could put minutes on it, and just, I used that mainly though to talk to people in the group, just if, you know, we need to get in touch with each other, to meet up somewhere. I actually found, I started using it to call back home, which was good for a while because they have the prepaid calling cards and it wasn't too expensive, but I found using Skype was a lot easier for communicating back home since it's free, so that worked out. Well, save in advance, because I'm still paying off credit cards, but it's totally worth it. I mean, I would do it again, and I got a lot more out of it than I expected. You know, first of all, it helped me because I was going for the international business concentration, which I either needed 6 hours of a foreign language or 6 hours abroad. So I did the abroad that helped me get that, and it's something you'll never forget and you'll never regret because you learn so much, and it just opens you up to a bunch of opportunities, and I want to go back. It's great. I'd probably go to a different place. And, you know, cause if you go somewhere else, you could take different classes, you could learn about a whole new culture. That's the whole thing, I guess. You really learn about the culture. So I know a lot about Italy, and while I would certainly love to go back there again, you know, I'd like to try something different, too. Well, okay, well, this isn't really Florence, but we took the optional trip to Paris, and of all the churches I saw, and we saw a lot of churches, my favorite church was the Sacré-Cœur. in Paris, and I don't know, it was just amazing, that whole area up there, because we also went to see a show at the Moulin Rouge. But that whole experience, the trip to Paris, was actually really fun. So maybe if I would go to again, I'd want to do that trip instead.